There is so much to talk about. I will put chapters on this video so you can navigate to the parts you want. My name is Captain Camp. I tried hiking the GR20, the trail on Corsica, 3 months ago. Maybe you saw the video. I had a great time, but a lot of things went wrong. To the point where I almost died. Because of karma. Beforehand I was reading about this trail and everybody on the internet says it is the hardest hike of Europe. Then how my brain works is I want to go to that island with minimal preparation to show that, well, I can do that. And it went horribly wrong. I did make it halfway though, but here are a lot of lessons to be learned. For myself, but also anyone watching this and thinking about hiking the GR20 on Corsica. Now, the first thing that went wrong was my shoes. So I'm used to hiking on the Topo Athletic Ultra Venture Pro, but they don't make them anymore. So I just ordered the new model, the Topo Athletic Traverse, because it looks so similar on paper, and I was thinking, well, it's basically the same shoe. I will use that one on Corsica. So I ordered it and I kept it in a box until the day I left. So the morning I left, I put them on and it feels different. They are way too tight on my feet. It's the same size, but they are much narrower and lower. It was not comfortable at all. I had to take 2 airplanes to get on Corsica. So when I was in the first airplane, I was like, damn, this is not gonna work. So I take my shoes off, take out the insoles, try the shoes back on, and well, now they fit. The insoles, I threw them away on the airport of Nice. I almost had footage of this. I was thinking, okay, I film myself, hit record, but instead of hitting record, it was already recording, so I hit stop, and then I threw them away. But I just tried to forget about it, and hiking without the insoles, it was okay. It was fine, to be honest. But then, the second thing that goes wrong, I am at the start of the hike, which I chose the starting point to be this dolphin statue. I take off my shoes to touch the dolphin statue in the water and then start from there. That's a really nice starting point. Here we go! But then, on my way back to the beach, I slid across something sharp. Pretty big cut on my foot, and that was on day 1. I tried to treat it because I was still in civilization, so I was looking for doctors and anyone who can help me. So I managed to get an appointment as a doctor, and nobody speaks English. It is really difficult for me. But then finally the doctor looks at it and he says, okay, it is not deep enough that he has to stitch it. But his advice is to get a big band-aid at the pharmacy and take a few days or a few weeks of rest. So yes, okay, I get the band-aid at the pharmacy, but rest, there's no way I'm gonna stay there like a sitting duck and not hike the GR20. So I put on the band-aids, just start hiking the trail, and the same day, everything on day 1, I make it to the official start of the trail, Conca, all by foot. It was pretty painful, but I start the hike, then it gets dark really quick, and cut on my foot, combined with no insoles in the shoe, it was like pretty suboptimal. But again, I tried to ignore it. Lesson number 3 was no rain jacket. This was the biggest mistake, that was my own fault, and I regret it the most. I should have taken a damn rain jacket. And now I think everyone should on the GR20, no matter how tough you are. In the Pyrenees, I also had no rain jacket. I had the same blue poncho, but there at least I had a tent, so at least I had a better shelter. And this weather on Corsica, it was something I have never seen before. Everything combined, almost 200 kilometers wind, literally, and a technical ridge that I was hiking on. It made it impossible to even wear the poncho. It was just impossible. So I got completely soaked, I got destroyed. It is hard to convey with words how tough this was. I had to come up with psychological games, tricking myself in order to not just give up and die. This was the most demanding thing in the history of my YouTube channel. It was literally a 6-hour fight. It was not a hike, it's a fight. And still I made it through the storm. And honestly, after the night at the refuge of Prati, well, I was fine to slowly continue with the hike. Issue number 4, and this is what actually made me quit halfway, was too much snow to continue without snow equipment. According to what people were telling me. Now, the first time people warned me about the snow on Corsica, I was literally like, I'm not intimidated at all by the snow. I mean, it's just sitting there, predictable. It's just sitting there, predictable. And I kept that mentality to just keep going and see how far I get. But then, after I went through that storm, which was ridiculous, and I was recovering at the Prati refuge, a reliable Frenchman, his name was Cyril, a good hiker, he told me that some parts are really a no-go if you don't have crampons and an ice axe. And for me at that point, the only right decision was to end the hike at Vizafona, the halfway point. I had seen enough, and there were enough signs that karma was not on my side. This hike was cursed, to be honest, and I still think that was 100% the right decision. I probably could have made it, but I should not take that risk when so many things have gone wrong already. And those snowy slopes, icy slopes, are a huge risk. I might have been able to buy the equipment from someone else, but then still I don't have experience with it, so it would have been still pretty dangerous. So finally I did take the warnings serious about the snow and made the right decision. I still think it was the right decision. Related to this, so point number 5, it is a pretty busy trail and rumors go around. People are talking and they hear second-hand or third-hand information and they get scared and they tell a more exaggerated version of the story to the next person they meet. So there were rumors going around of 2 people missing and dying on that snowy part where I was planning to go. And in hindsight, I don't think that was true. I could not find anything on the internet afterwards when I got in Civilization. Not a month after it. I think that was just a fake story. But a month before I went, somebody did die, and it was on many French news websites. So people do die on Corsica, but there are also a lot of rumors and they get amplified by scared people and maybe beginner people. Maybe we've been gaslit. So the thing I want to say is, be skeptical about what other people say, especially if it's probably second-hand or third-hand information. But on the other hand, if it is first-hand information and they come across as experienced hikers, I would advise to take them serious and listen to those people. And especially listen to what the guardians of the refuges have to say. They are professionals, they are experienced people on this island, so definitely listen to what the guardians have to say. 100%. Now, number 6 is, I'm still a bit annoyed by this. So I met a girl coming from opposite direction. She actually did the difficult part with the snow, and that was after I went through the hard part and decided I will not do that part. I think she was a great hiker, but then she ran out of money, out of cash money, and you really need that. And I have been in her position where I ran out of money in the Pyrenees, and you cannot buy food. It is a stupid thing to happen. So we talk, it's nice. I gave her, well, not give, I borrowed her 50 euros and we exchanged information, and then I never got the 50 euro back. So it happens. We did have contact and she said, oh yeah, I send it next week. And then she said, yeah, I send it. Maybe something went wrong with the banks because she's from a different country. Long story short, I never got it back. I think next time in a situation like that, I will be a bit more cautious about giving away 50 euros. I might give again some money to people who are nice and run out of money, but probably not 50 euros. It's quite a lot. Well, and the next thing, it's also about corruption. The airport on the way back, it was simply corrupt. They tried to fool me. At the check-in desk, I think they were people from Air France. I blame them. It's already 3 months ago, but what happened was they said something like, oh hey, your information is wrong, your address looks wrong. Are you from Africa or are you from China? Because the address is from Africa. And I say, can you show me on the screen? She said, no, I can't, but I just saw it upstairs in the office that your address is wrong. You have to pay to correct it. So I've never experienced something like that, but I ain't no fool. So again, I ask, show me the address so we can see if it's wrong or not. And then she talked French with a colleague, and I have no idea what they said, but this seemed like, oh yeah, maybe we cannot fool this guy. So she was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, we will correct it. Okay, yeah, let's continue. It was another strange experience on this island. It's really, this trip was really cursed. I've never experienced something like that from official people on an airport. And now, on top of that, 2 months later, I get an email from Air France where they say there's a data leak, Air France, or some system, it got hacked. So the hackers got my personal data. Isn't that ridiculous? So here I have the email actually. It says, important incident involving your personal data. And then blah blah blah, their name, Captain Camp. We are reaching out to you because of a recent data breach involving your personal data. They did not get everything, but this on top of the corruption on the airport of Corsica, it was Bastia, I think, the airport. It's just so ridiculous to me. It just adds up to this trip being crazy and the corruption. I don't get it. Now, another airport related thing on Corsica, which I think it's really good to know for anyone wanting to do this and wanting to start in the south, because that's what I did. That airport, Figaro. Now, getting from this airport to the start of the trail can be pretty hard. There are no buses, at least in the month of May when I was there. No buses. There are taxi drivers, but they asked 140 euros, which is a lot. So that's why I hitchhiked. And I do recommend hitchhiking. For me it worked out great. But I have to say, to keep in mind is safety first. Safety first. So stand on a safe place to hitchhike. The people driving on that island can be pretty reckless. And don't get in a car when you don't trust it. Even when they have stopped, especially for you, you are not obliged to step in that car. No people pleasing. Number 10 is a pretty important question, is when to go to hike the GR20. Well, I found out May is a bit early. You can get unlucky like I did with the snow still sitting on the mountain. But this was also a high snow year from what I understood from second-hand, third-hand information. But there was one guy that had done it multiple times, the trail, different years, and he said this is definitely a high snow year. So maybe I got unlucky, but May might give some trouble with the snow. Well, then point number 11 is when going in June, July, August or September, you probably have to make reservations at the refuges. Even if you're staying with your own tent. You have to make reservation, you have to pay. And I believe all those refuges, they belong to the same national organization, and there's one website, pretty old website, where you can make the reservation, but I did not do that. But I recommend doing that, because if you arrive there and have no reservation, you have to pay double. And what I heard from other people who did make reservations is that they're actually pretty flexible. So if you arrive a day late or a day early, it's likely that you don't have to pay extra. And by the way, those refuges and the campings next to it, they are the only places where you can stay the night legally. Now, point number 12 is my navigation app. Gaia GPS app took a dump on me. Again, I'm gonna look for other navigation apps because I don't trust it anymore. I also had this in the Pyrenees, I think, or on the peaks of Balkans. Maybe both even. And on Corsica is that beforehand I download the maps for offline use. Everything looks fine, but then I'm hiking. Of course there's no internet. And at some point just the map, it just stops. It does not completely stop, but the details like the height, the altitude lines, the details, they get completely lost. It's so dangerous. I don't trust it anymore. I'm gonna look for another navigation app. I also had another app on my phone called GR20. For 6 euros I paid for it. Honestly, I did not really use it much. I did not use my phone at all. I was enjoying the moment, and this trail is very well marked. No matter where you are hiking, I would always recommend to have navigation equipment, like offline maps on your phone and GPS. And I even recommend paper maps. But the GR20 is really well marked with the white and red paint. Point number 13 is my final one, and that's funny, I just noticed it now that there are 13 points of advice and issues that I run into. My advice is to just come prepared. It is a really challenging trail, also really beautiful, and I did not even get to do the north part, but make sure to respect the trail and the local people, as long as they respect you, of course. Leave no trace, no littering is my final advice, and stay safe and make the right decisions. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. I wish you good luck. Final thing that I want to say is I definitely will return to Corsica to reattempt the GR20. Maybe even next year. There will be a successful thru hike by Captain Camp.